will make you overswing. It will make you lose connection with your arms to your body, and it will really affect your ball striking. I'm really excited to bring you a brand new series, and I'm going to use all of the components that Sportsbox measures to give you a real insight into what you need to be looking for in your golf swing. Today I'm talking about sway. Sway is an ingredient that will really hinder the rotary motion in your golf swing, but equally sway can be used for energy. When we think about the golf swing, most of us, as we're getting a little bit older, are all starting to get a little bit shorter in rotation. Now, the yesteryear golfer who thought about loading up his right side really sat into that right leg. Now, that sitting into that right leg, as I've talked in quite a lot of my videos, really restricts the lower half and really stops the rotation from happening. As I sit to the right, my hip action will be restricted. Because my hip action is restricted, my shoulder turn will now be restricted. Hip sway in a backswing of an excessive amount will make you overswing. It will make you lose connection with your arms to your body, and it will really affect your ball striking. So what do? How do we fix it? Well, first of all, you might want to consider using Sportsbox. Sportsbox is some revolutionary technology that I've teamed up with and I use every day, not only here at Precision Golf, home of good golf coaching, but also use it in the Sky Sports studio to analyze some of the best golf swings in the world. Sportsbox is going to give you a way of measuring your golf swing, not only when you're playing well, but when you're playing poorly. I'm going to detail over 25 different parameters that Sportsbox measures in isolation. Today, sway is that ingredient that I want to give you some insights into that allows you, when you use Sportsbox on your own without a golf coach, it's going to give you some markers that will really allow you to start to develop your golf swing. Now, Sportsbox does offer up some windows of performance. Every single ingredient has an optimized range. Now, it's going to be different for all of us. Different for the amount of mobility you have, and also different to where you like to see your golf swing. If you've watched enough of my content, you'll have a flavor by now of what I like to see. But hopefully this video series in conjunction with Sportsbox and GX golf gloves is going to give you an opportunity to measure all on your own. Sway, as I say, is first up. How much we move sideways, as I say, will really either help your hip rotation or hinder it. You can see on the screen here, I'm moving sideways. My right hip has moved laterally. Because I've moved laterally, I've corrupted the lower part of my spine, which really is going to hinder the amount I can rotate. I now push my right hip back more to the center. You can now start to see how much more hip turn we've got. Now, I couldn't possibly give you insight into how much hip turn or sway you can achieve in one video. So we're going to not just do one video on sway, we're going to do multiple. But I want to work through the full catalogue of Sportsbox ingredients. But I'm going to give you some great starters. When we set up to the golf ball, as we start to move off the golf ball, this left foot pushing is a real indicator of seeing the value of the hip sway rise up in a backswing. Now, for some golfers, they'll push off and then they'll recenter. That pushing off and that recenter has really been seen people like Bryson DeChambeau, even in golfers like Rory, where they really get that left foot to push off, and as they push off, they use their right foot to center, and then as they pull the golf club down, they use their left leg. There's a lot going on there. For me, I much prefer feeling like the right foot is going to start to work very early in the backswing. So I really like to feel that the hip rotation is going to start to work fairly early, and that right foot is going to really help you do that. So the first swing is more of the Rory Bryson motion, where they push off and recenter. So I push off, recenter, and strike. Now for me, for your club golfer, your recreational player, I think that's quite a hard thing to do. Making that kind of coordination in your backswing and trying to be explosive, I think is really quite tricky. You can see in that golf swing there how the value of my hip sway went up and then I recentered. And the point that I pulled my golf club down, I was very much in the middle again. I recentered my golf swing. This second motion, I can really start to push off with my right leg, and I start to move that hip rotation back, and you can now start to see how much less move off the golf ball I have in the initial part of the backswing. So this hip rotation is really being fired up either by your left leg or your right leg. The hip sway is being controlled by that push with the right leg or left leg. You push with your left leg on takeaway and you will create hip sway. If you create hip sway, you are going to really reduce your hip rotation. So pushing off with your left leg will square your hips off. Pushing off with your right leg will open your hips up. It's up to you which one you go with. But really at the top of the backswing, we are looking for that value to be pretty small. A low value, 0.5, either positive or negative at the top of the backswing. Where you look at left arm parallel to the floor, backswing club halfway, BCH, that's what Sportsbox measures it in. All of these various different positions, the 7 different positions that Sportsbox measure. That left arm parallel to the floor on the way back. If you want to be one of those guys or girls that pushes off with your left leg, you can sometimes see as much as 2 inches off the golf ball. But now you've got a lot of work to do. Between your left arm parallel to the floor and the top of the golf swing, in that zone there, you have got to recenter, pull the golf club down and now push back off. There's a lot of work there, my friends. It's going to be explosive, but you better get yourself in the gym. You better get yourself squatting a lot. You better get yourself jumping a lot. Now, when you're a full-time athlete like these golfers are, that might be something that you want to embark upon. But for me, I really like to see how the right leg starts to push, which really almost kills off all of the lateral sway. And you'll see that actually in my swing, where I'm making my right foot push off, I'm really starting to get that right foot to push early, which really allows me to start to stay centered very early, which allows that club path to stay from the inside very, very easily. So the push off with the right foot that allows that hip action to stay very centered very early will allow my chest to rotate and get around the golf ball. But even though I've pushed off with my right foot and kept that sway centered, I've put energy into that left leg. That energy into that left leg is now a source of power for when I'm pulling the golf club and I'm pushing back. That source of power that pushes back off the floor that allows my right arm and my right side to come through. You can see that's allowed my club path to still come from the inside at 2.6. The face a little bit shut on that one, but the angle of attack was down. Modulating the amount of sway you have in your backswing is really up to you. Do you go with early sway and recentering, or do you, in your backswing, start to get the right foot very early pushing back so that when you get to the top, you're loaded in that left leg a bit more so that you can push off, back away from the target, accelerate the right side, and hit a little beautiful draw to your target. Sportsbox is a great bit of technology. If you go down into the description, you will find my ambassador link that will give you some discounts on whether it be a monthly subscription, a yearly subscription, or even if you want to buy the Sportsbox indoor studio, which is an absolute great bit of kit. I've got a new video coming out on that. I want to say a big thanks to Sportsbox, big thanks to GX Golf Clubs for being part of this video. Use the technology to your benefit. This is going to be a series, a playlist that's going to allow you to come here and find out what you need to be looking at with the different components that Sportsbox measures, so it can. If you're tired of paying too much for your premium leather golf gloves, head over to gxgolfgloves.com. These are gloves trusted by tour players and elite amateurs alike. Use my code GOODCOACHING to receive 10% off your next order. Go try them out. You won't be disappointed. Give you a way of taking ownership of your golf game in conjunction with my golf coaching and Sportsbox. So do hang around. These are going to be weekly videos coming at you with all of the ingredients at Sportsbox. If you've got any thoughts on it, do drop a comment in the box below, because I always get back to you and I'm always here to help. Thank you so much for watching. Do consider subscribing while you're here. And that, my friends, is good coaching.